my God. Okay. How's it going, everybody? In this month's Fretboard method, I'm going to be combining your normal 2 Fretboard method videos into one instrumental acoustic guitar tutorial. A couple weeks ago, I guess it was maybe about a couple months ago now, I released my very first solo instrumental acoustic album, and I've been getting the best feedback about it. It's been really, really awesome just putting it out there. I started recording that stuff probably back in 2018, 2019 when I was still living in Nashville. So a lot of those songs were very well thought out and very near and dear to my heart. So I was a bit nervous putting it out, but again, everyone that has downloaded it and listened to it on Bandcamp has had the best things to say about it. And I just want to do a little thank you to all of you who may have the album. If you don't, the link is in the Bandcamp link in the description of this tutorial. So again, these are going to be your Fretboard method videos linked into one. Next month, we'll go back to doing the 2 Fretboard methods. Now, this track is called Favorite Thing I've Ever Written, and quite possibly is the favorite thing I've ever written. A little backstory behind it: I was playing a lot of acoustic guitar in between tours and really digging into alternate tunings. We'll get into the tuning of this one here in a little bit. But I wanted to write something that was kind of a bittersweet feeling. I knew that my time in Nashville was coming to a close. My wife and I were wanting to start a family and move down to Florida to be closer to my family here and just raise our children at the beach. So I was very excited, to be surfing again and be close to the water, but also very, not sad, but just, kind of upset that my time in Nashville was coming to a close. And I think that this song includes both those feelings really, really well. And there are times when I play it where I actually get choked up just thinking about the 10 years that I spent in Nashville, but also very excited looking at the future that was ahead of me in Florida. It was, my wife and I spent a long time thinking about it, probably for about 3 years, and we just made the move and did it. And this track, it's kind of was the story behind that big transition in both of our lives. So real quick, the tuning is a bit odd. It is D, A, D, and then this next string, the G string, is tuned all the way down to a D as well. And then we have an A. And then here's the slack tune part of it. It's going to be a C sharp. So when you strum it open, it sounds like this, which is one of the chords in the songs. Again, that's D, A, D, D, A, C sharp. So not a very sad sounding tuning, but definitely not a happy one as well. The first chord in the song is just going to be a B bar chord. So my goal with this was, play very, very easy chords that I can recreate and not have to teach myself how to play guitar again. Just play chords that I already know in a different tuning, and it's going to open a lot of doors. That's something that all of you should try. So the first chord is just a B major bar chord. And then you're strumming, you're kind of arpeggiating it and playing that slack tune, that C sharp on that high E string. So again, it's just a B bar chord where my pinky's fretting the 4th fret, D, G, and B strings, and my pointer's on the 2nd fret A. I'm not playing the low string yet. The second chord is just an A major. So it's that A major, I'm just barring with my pointer finger all on the 2nd fret. And I'm playing that high E string as well, letting that ring out. And then the third chord in this first part would be like a D major triad. So we're playing the D string open, and then on the 7th fret, I'm, fretting those with my middle finger and ring finger, and then my pointer finger's on the high E on the 5. So these are those chords. Just try that a couple times. And then now the next chord, we'll get into the arpeggios here in a little bit, which is actually not very important when it comes to the tune. As long as you're just kind of finger picking lightly, doing arpeggios, the melody is going to happen. The next chord is going to be kind of an odd one that you have seen on things like Open Passageways and on Mellowing, and I believe Call Me Star. Totally different tuning, but same kind of chord. On the A string, I have our middle finger on the 2nd fret, and then I'm playing the D open, the G open, and I'm fretting with my ring finger on the B string 2nd fret, and also playing that high E string. And then the next chord is just open. Primarily low E string, D, G, and B. So it's we do that again. And again, 3 times total. And then we're doing a slide. I'm using my ring finger and my pinky on the D and the G string. I love this tuning because I call it the Twin Brothers tuning, believe it or not, where the D and the G string are the same tuning. Sounds like two guitars. So anyway, I'm sliding the 2nd fret up to 4. And I'm also hitting that A string as well. So strike, slide up, and then we're gonna pick the B string for that melody. And then land, just kind of strum down with your thumb. Don't hit the low E string, we're starting with the A. We're just strumming that. Again, it lands with our ring finger and pinky finger on the D and the G string. So that's kind of the first part of the song. I would like to go over just all the chords in the song first, and then we'll go back and kind of look at the finger picking. And you guys can rewind the video, back to the chord section if you're forgetting anything, but you'll also see me play them as well. So we repeat that again, only the second time when we get to that D triad, we're gonna walk up a little melody here with our pinky finger. Pinky on 7 high E, pinky on 8 high E, pinky back to 7 high E. And we repeat. And again, the low note that I'm only hitting on those triads is that D string. And then after that, we go down to here. Remember that open? We do it 3 times. Now, the pre kind of bridge part, I would call it, is going to be this section. So those chords, I remember when I was writing this, it was kind of an odd transition because the first chord is going to be middle finger, low E string 5th fret, ring finger, A string 5th fret. We're not fretting the D string, but we are playing the open D, and then our pinky's on the 5th fret G string. And then I'm also picking the B string with my ring finger on my right hand just to add that melody. But now we're sliding everything down 1 fret, but we're going, instead of fretting the 4th fret A string with our ring finger, we have to switch it down to the D string 4th fret. Otherwise it would sound like this. I didn't want that 5th in there. I wanted it to be more like an octave. So the first one is a 5th. And then, so again, that's 4th fret, middle finger, 4th fret D string with our ring finger, and 4th fret G string with our pinky. So we're skipping over that A string once we get down to the 4th fret. And then we're just sliding it down. 3, 2. And then we're landing, kind of playing all the strings, but we're fretting with our ring finger and pinky finger, D string and G string on the 4th fret. Sliding it down to 2. And then repeating that walk down. Repeat. So the difference between that 4th fret part is the root note. So on the 4th fret there, we're striking the low E string. When we bring it down to 2, we're striking the A string. So it's Da, da. Do you hear the difference? Now, moving on to the bridge, which is hands down my favorite part of the entire song. This bridge is actually the thing that I love most about the song. Sorry, iced coffee break. Compliments of Kookaburra Coffee, St. Augustine, Florida. Anyway, the bridge it pulls at my heartstrings a lot. Just makes me feel all those feelings that I had back in 2019 and 2020 when we were thinking about moving. So it's going to be, our thumb is only going to play the A, and we're fretting the A string on our 5th fret with our middle finger, and our ring finger is going to be on the high E string 5th fret. And we're playing all the strings in between. And then we're going to slide up to the 9th fret with our middle finger on the A string. Pointer finger is going to be on the 8th fret high E string. So it's... And then slide that down, which is going to be A string, middle finger, 7th fret, high E string, ring finger, 7th fret. Now that sounds like a weird chord on its own, but in the context of the song, it's a beautiful transition chord. So practice those a couple times. And it lands back on that 5th fret form. Now we go to my favorite chord of the song, which is going to be A string, 2nd fret, fretted with our middle finger and pointer finger on the 1st fret on the high E. So it goes like this. And then we land on the main 1st chord of the song. I love that. Going from this chord, it makes me feel things again. And then we're going from that chord. Sorry, this is weird because I've never talked this out before, so bear with me. We're going to our ring finger on the 5th fret on the E string, and that's all we're fretting. And we're just picking all the strings except for the open A string. So let's go back a little bit. And then now lose the fret altogether. So those 3 chords. One more time. Pretty cool. Let's just run those chords one more time, and then we'll keep moving. Once you guys nail the chords, the song is gonna play itself for sure. And you'll see what I mean. Even if you're just doing a... just any arpeggio pattern is going to make the melody, I think. We'll get there. Okay, so after these, we go back to this chord on the 2nd fret, which is on A string, 2nd fret with our middle finger, and B string, 2nd fret, middle finger. and then open, and then do that slide thing. So remember, that's on the D and the G string. So it's slide that up to 4, and then play the high E string open, and then land. Open A string, and then we're strumming that out. And then we repeat. We do this 3 times. On the second time, we throw in a little harmonic. That's just 12th fret on the E, B, and G string. Let's say that's the first. This is the second. Again, there's that open slide part. And then the outro of the song is just the intro with a slight change. I'll show you. So when we get to that A major bar chord form, we go high E, and then with the pointer barred on the 2nd fret on that B string, we pluck that, and then we play an open B. So it's, and then we do that slide thing, like there. Remember, the slide is going to be 2nd fret D string with our ring finger, and pinky finger is going to be on the 2nd fret on the G string. And we're playing the low E on this outro, because that's the resolve note. So here's that outro. The melody is na 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 na. So those are the chords to the entire song. Now, let's go kind of back to the beginning, and let's look at some of the right hand technique. The right hand picking pattern, arpeggios, is going to be the same kind of the whole way through. Now, if you don't get it perfect, it doesn't matter, because eventually, the more you play it, the more you practice it, you'll hear, oh, that is supposed to be the melody. I need to adjust something. But here is the picking pattern. So let's go to that B major bar chord. Remember, where the pointer is on the A string, 2nd fret, and your pinky. This is a bit challenging. If you want to do it with your ring finger, you can, but I've always done these kind of bar power chords with my pinky. I can also press it harder with my pinky. You guys might be different. And remember, that's on the D, G, and B string on that 4th fret. All right, so I'm just gonna slowly play this picking pattern, and it's gonna be just about the same for the whole song. Let's go real slow. So essentially, I'm picking the A string and the B string together with my thumb and my middle finger, and then pointer plays the G. And then after the G string, my thumb plays the D string. So just try that a couple times. So the thumb is going. After the thumb plays that D string, our ring finger on our right hand is going to be playing the high E. See, it's kind of the same. Dun 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 da, dun 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 da. Let's go back a little bit. Now remember, if you guys need to remember where the root open strings are, just go back a little bit to where we're going over the chords. Once we get to that D triad, I'm not playing down here with my thumb. My thumb starts on that D string and it stays there. Real slow, that's. But kind of the theme of the whole song is pretty much on every chord, the thumb and the middle finger are playing two notes together, almost always. In this case, here is the D string and the B string. There's a little transition there. So just because you're changing chords doesn't mean you're stopping the picking pattern. That's very important to know. See, even transitioning from that A up to that D triad, I'm still picking, and that's making a melody. You have to finish the arpeggio. Same picking pattern. Right there, you can fall apart a little bit on it. The strum there. You can either strum it or pluck those. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Or actually, no, I want to go to this next part. The melody there's boom ba boom ba boom ba boom ba. Harmonics. There, I'm just doing a down arpeggio. And I think my pointer finger is playing that D, the D string after the downs. So it's like thumb, pointer on the D. Watch my right hand. Now, on this part, we're picking both the A string and the high E string at the same time, but we're doing pick and then bringing it down. But mainly on the way to that initial pluck, I'm doing a rake with my other fingers. And that's just the A string, the G string, the B string, and the E string. But it's fast. Ra. So the picking pattern here is again, it's hard to explain. Even if you were in the same room with me right now, right in front of me, it would still be hard to do. It's just going to be one of those things where you're just going to have to play all these chords and then just fiddle around with your right hand until it feels right. On that one, we want to end twice on that high E. So I'm just walking that down and then back up. And ending with those. Main thing I would focus on, again, is those chords. And then just practice your right hand slowly. You don't have to get it exact. The important thing is the left hand. You'll get it. You know, even if you were just playing these chords with a guitar pick, strumming, it's still kind of has the melody to it. Again, it's just going to take practice and just playing the chords. At the very least, they're, in my opinion, very beautiful chords. Another very important lesson about a song like this is you don't have to be able to know these crazy chords. You just have to adjust your tuning, and you can come up with really cool stuff. Anyway, I hope that this tutorial was really fun and helpful in some way. I'm really, really glad to be sharing this track in particular with everybody. So thank you so much, and see you next time.